Okay, so today I wanted to talk a little bit more about something that I slightly touched on in my videos about my gods and worship, but not really, which is my prophetic dreams. Now I do acknowledge the idea that someone may see the future in their dreams or at all in any way is understandably absurd to some, and hey, if you don't believe in it, you don't have to. And honestly, if I hadn't personally experienced them, I don't know if I would believe in them either. So that's totally fair. I'm not trying to convince anyone here. I just wanted to be clear about that. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just trying to talk about my own beliefs and experiences. So, as I said in my previous video, I worship Apollo. And after I started doing that, I honestly don't remember if it was immediately after or after a while or even before. I don't know. I don't remember when it started. But I do occasionally have dreams that then later actually happen. And the first thing many people say when I talk about this is, oh, so it's just déjà vu. It's not. Déjà vu is when something is happening and you feel like it's happened before. Completely different thing. I actually kind of tested it myself in a few ways. Which is that, for example, I think it actually makes sense to first talk about how it practically works and describe some examples for me. So, first of all, my prophecies of the future, my glimpses, dreams of the future, are from my perspective. They are about me and what I see. Even in those prophetic dreams, I can't suddenly see what someone else sees or just see something from the outside. I still see them from my view, my brain, and my perspective. Which is also why usually it's not useful in the slightest. Because a lot of what I do is just sitting at home on my PC or drawing something or reading something or whatever. So I cannot, through this, usually predict any big world events because I'm usually not just staring at world events happening, and I'm usually not there when new things happen. So that is why it's basically not useful. I also don't look at lottery numbers or anything before anyone brings that up. And it's also not, I don't tend to remember my dreams in enough detail for that to actually work too. However, because I, watch things and read things a lot, I have, on at least 2 occasions, been spoiled about a media because of these prophecies. I'm gonna talk about one of those. So, spoiler warning for Critical Role, the second campaign. Because I was watching the second campaign while I was running, and I had a prophecy of a later episode that wasn't even filmed yet at the time where I was streaming it, where Molly Mock died. And if you've watched it, you know that Molly Mock does die in the campaign. So I knew this beforehand. Which was a huge spoiler that I had no way to avoid because it was directly in my brain. Something also that I always find interesting is that in these prophecies, I'm not just seeing or hearing things that I will in the future hear or see. I also have the personality and character and mind of. I perceive all that too, and my body in those times. So sometimes when there's a big like mental change from when I have the dream and when it actually happens, after I wake up from the dream, I'll be like, I felt so weird and different in the dream, because at that point I am very different. This has happened a little less now, because I started having these dreams when I was a child, when obviously, or a teenager, not like a young child. But obviously from a teenager to being an adult, there's a lot of changes that happen, and a lot of mind development and learning and stuff. So that was honestly often one of the most interesting parts of it, although it was also to me for a time scary. There was actually a point at which I prayed and like begged Apollo to stop the prophecies, which he did do. But now I'm pretty much just chill with it and just kind of like let it wash over me. I have actually also been able, you might wonder like, with being able to see the future, if there's like, if it's set in stone, and it's not quite, but it's difficult to change, and you can only change it if you know about it. So there have been one or two occasions where in my original prophecy I went down into a panic spiral, had a panic attack, and then when it happened, because I knew that would happen, I managed to calm myself down a little more. The thing here is that usually it doesn't change much materially. It can change a little bit of how I feel, although most of the time, like 90% of the time, the dreams are only show me a relatively short time frame. So by the time I notice that what's currently happening has been in my dreams, it's usually already over. But I have had times where one of the most solid things that make me sure that it's prophetic dreams instead of just deja vu or something is that I literally had one of those prophetic dreams, which generally they feel very different from regular dreams, so I can tell what is actually going to happen and what not. So one of those times I wrote down what was going to happen in what happened in the dream, and then later, when it actually did happen, I looked back at that note and it happened exactly like I wrote it down. So that's why I actually genuinely believe that these are prophetic visions. But yeah, I've had many visions like that. One of them was also just me playing Monster Hunter on the 3DS, because that's the type of shit I do. I have had several prophecies of like shows or movies or video games and stuff, or books even, because that's what I spend my time with. I haven't had any like big life changes in my dreams like predicted, except in like the different state of mind. But yeah, so it's not as interesting as it can sound, but I do very much believe that these are visions of the future given by Apollo. I've also actually heard of several other people who've had these experiences, whether they ascribe them to spirituality or not, or just weird coincidences or whatever, but I do actually believe these might not be quite as rare as you might think. But they're also not obviously extremely common, so I don't know. But yeah, those are basically my experiences with that. If you have any questions about it, feel free to leave them in the comments. But yeah, praise Apollo.